Charlotte Buchanan belied this assumption. In her mid to late 20s, she was neither homely nor fat, but she was big. 5'8" anyway, with broad shoulders and not much in the way of taper below them. Her expensively coiffed, fine-spun hair and her lustrous pearl gray jacket and skirt outfit seemed to emphasize bulk instead of suggesting elegance. Her face might have been pretty, but it seemed set in a permanently sour expression combining cynical resignation with self-pity. Others' Harm was published in 1997, Buchanan said. In Contemplation of Death was released in early '99. Who was your agent? Rep asked. Julia Deltradiche, New York. Rep had pulled a Mont Blanc from his upper right-hand vest pocket and was now industriously scribbling notes on a legal pad. Did she shop at too many paperback houses? She claimed she did, but said there wasn't any interest because the hardcover sales were so low. Did she send it to any studios or film agents? She told me she had a subcontractor named Bernie Mixler pushing it hard on the coast, Buchanan said. Not hard enough, apparently. Reviews? None, except the press in Valley Grove where Tavistock has a chemical plant. Not even PW or Kirkus. That's how much effort St. Philomena put into it. That does seem pretty toothless, Rep said without thinking. He noted with anxious relief that neither Buchanan nor Arundel seemed to have caught his allusion. National distribution? Yes, bookstores from coast to coast returned copies. Rep made a brisk final notation on his pad and paused, leaning back in the mate's chair where Arundel had parked him. Arundel drummed the eraser end of a pencil on the Moroccan leather frame of his desk blotter. Fenneman kept a look of placid expectation on his weathered, age-mottled face. Rep gathered that he still had the floor. There are two issues right up top, he said in standard issue desk-side manner. Access and similarity, I know, Buchanan said impatiently. We have to show that Point West Productions had access to my story and that the movie is similar enough to the book to create a legitimate inference of direct borrowing. She pulled a sheaf of photocopied pages from the thin attaché case balanced on her knees and flourished them briefly. Rep saw with dismay that they looked like case law headnotes from the West Digest. This meant that Buchanan had already consulted another lawyer who didn't like her case, which was an unpleasant thought, or that she was the type of client who did amateur legal research herself, which was a thought too horrible to contemplate. Right, Rep continued gamely. Publication and general distribution probably give us a leg up on access, at least if the movie followed a normal development and production schedule. So let's talk about similarity. Buchanan foraged once more in the attaché case, emerging this time with a black vinyl 3-ring binder. Plastic tab dividers studded the open side. Flicking the binder open to the third or fourth section, she tendered it to Rep, who laid it on the corner of Arundel's desk, and with seeping despair began to read. Similarities and identicalities between And Unto Others Harm and In Contemplation of Death. Others Harm. The climactic confrontation between the protagonist and the villain takes place on the upper floor of a large country house at night. Death. The climactic confrontation takes place on the top floor of an office building at night. Others Harm. A suspect is identified by DNA analysis of ejaculate on a woman's slip. Death. A suspect is identified by DNA analysis of ejaculate on a woman's pantyhose. Others Harm. A key clue is the misspelling of YOU''RE as YOUR in a ransom note. Death. A key clue is the misspelling of YOU''RE as YOUR in a threatening letter. Others Harm. The protagonist graduated from a Seven Sisters school with a PhD in philology. Death. The protagonist graduated from an Ivy League school with a PhD in semiotics. Others Harm. The protagonist smokes cigarettes, an unusual habit among contemporary women under 30 with advanced degrees. Death. The protagonist smokes cigarettes. Ditto. Others Harm. The plot revolves around threatened exposure of fraud in a government-subsidized research program at a university on the West Coast. Death. The plot revolves around threatened exposure of fraud in a government-sponsored research program at a California foundation. Others Harm. The protagonist develops a romantic relationship with one of the